Hi, everybody, and welcome to WatchHaus. Today I am joined by two of my favorite people. How are you guys? Guys? Guys, you know I have stage fright.
Whoa!
What's happening?
From the grave!
Oh
Ah! It's the Halloween episode!
That's a little much. Happy Halloween.
Ah!
All right. Okay.
no! All right. Thank
Hello.
goodness you guys are here. But
Oh, wow. That was wild.
that was wild. Connor, now that you're back among the living, what's been going on with you this week? Anything you want to bring up?
Well, I was in the underworld for a week. Just got back.
Yeah.
Whilst in the underworld, I did some writing because I had to down there. It's tough times. I think I wrote a report card for the Bangkok qualifier. I think that was last week. And then me and the staff of the Overwatch Game Haus staff did a BlizzCon quarterfinals picks. So that's what I've been doing in the underworld for the past week. Just got back. It's great, nice and cool here. So good.
Nice. Thibble, did you run into Goopy in the underworld, or were you in limbo? Like, what have you been up to?
No, I think I just kind of like passed out. Like the episode ended, and I just kind of like fell unconscious, and then I woke up. I was like over there. I was like, oh, isn't it? It's like 5:28 PST on a Tuesday. It's probably That's why I got all this, this going on. It's just because I've been unconscious for the past 6.5 days.
Jeez.
I also did some writing. It was great. I finally got around to transcribing the interview of Moth's parents, which was super cool and fun. And I bugged them with extra questions, and they gave me extra answers, which was good. And they got their BlizzCon tickets because they didn't have any at like when I talked to them in LA, right? And they were like, yeah, we just can't. They don't give us BlizzCon tickets, and you can't buy BlizzCon tickets because that's like physically impossible. So I posted about it, and a bunch of people on Twitter stepped up and were like, dude, I got spare BlizzCon tickets. Let's go. Speaking of, I could also use a BlizzCon ticket, but they got theirs, and that's cool. And I'm glad that I was able to help with that, and that's super awesome. So, yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Amazing you were able to do that asleep. That's really cool. Impressive.
Completely unconscious, by the way.
Really good. Wow.
Yeah. I mean, while these two have been absentee, I also got to interview Colorblind, everyone's favorite Bastion streamer. She had so many really fun things to say about the new Colorblind updates, and everyone at the Game Haus, the Overwatch team, has been so busy. Lots of interviews coming out this week. I believe this Saturday was one of the records of how many articles everyone got out. So there's a lot of great content there coming from everybody, not just us fools. So please take a look. But moving forward, tonight is our Halloween episode. Today was the first day of the Halloween event. I know Connor and I just got off from playing some Junkenstein, and Bibble was still unconscious, so he couldn't join, but stuff happens. But before we go into any of that, I want to talk about some of these Halloween skins going on right here. I mean, Halloween is one of my favorite events of this entire year. I think there's so many really cool things going on, so many creative stuff. Goopy, I know that we have some similar tastes in Halloween costumes. We love the creepier sides of things. What are your favorite Halloween skin of all of this?
Well, to get a sense of what my two favorite Halloween skins actually are, you'll have to listen to Katrina's because she took both of mine. So my third and fourth favorite Halloween skins are the Torbjorn Viking. Having a little bit of Danish heritage, I'm just a big fan of all things Viking and Danish and Norse. So got to go with the Torbjorn Viking. It's kind of fun to see Torbjorn dress up too. Everyone gets to. The other one is a new skin. It's the Enchanted Armor Farah skin. I am a huge fan of that one. It's really cool. When it first came out, I actually thought she was just headless. I was like, this is broken. She has no head box, so you can't see it. Like, that's not fair. But it was just her holding her helmet. Then she puts it on still, like a normal character. Duh. So big fan of both those. Big fan.
And Bibble, Do you agree with Goopy's picks? Do you think that you might have the better costume opinions out of the three of us?
I mean, I've never. It's not like I have a history of thinking that or anything.
Well, you're the
I
costume
think they're.
expert.
Yeah, no, yeah, definitely. I think they're great. I'm still disappointed that there is no seagull centric skin in the game. But I do think that there are plenty of great skins, including the Enchanted Armor Farah, which is actually really stepping up for me this year. I really dig it. I got the Banshee Moira in my first Halloween loot box, and that was pretty good because that's a cool skin. My current favorite, though, probably has to be Witch Mercy. Like, it's a classic. It's just so good. Corsair Ana probably takes close second for me. Just quality skins there.
So good.
They always treat the support characters right. Better than the tanks. Just in general.
Rip.
Yeah.
Well, going back to supports, my ultimate favorite of all of the Halloween skins, it has to be Cthulhu Zenyatta. It is. I remember when I saw that last year. That was the only skin I needed. Like, just going into this event, he was just having the embrace nothingness. It's just so. It just is so cool. I love it so much. And Zenyatta, he gets really lucky skins. I feel he always has a couple of really outstanding ones. Someone who doesn't get as many great skins is Symmetra. So I have to say I really love her dragon skin. Remember that, like the summoner with the tail on her head instead of the hair, and it was just so cool. I loved it so much. But being Norwegian, I also do like that Viking Torbjorn. So if we had to choose our favorite number one skin, what would it be?
I gotta go with Cultus Zenyatta. I think that one is incredible.
I could agree. I think it's a really fun skin. I think Zen just has some of the best skins in the game.
Yeah.
I got the fastball skin from the last event. And
It's such a cool one.
So yeah, Cultus Zenyatta, just because he's such a cool character in general. I could agree with that.
Yeah, I can't argue with you there. Halloween has some really classic emotes too. Like the Anna candy comes to mind. That's always great.
Put him to sleep and give him some candy.
Yeah.
So
I think the one I forget about, I almost just think of it as like his normal skin, is the Reaper with the pumpkin head and like coming out of the coffin.
Dude,
like that's just like so like standard now. I just feel like that's Reaper. I don't know even know what normal Reaper looks like anymore.
The coffin highlight intro, like
Yeah.
it's such a
Oh.
like the aesthetic lines up so well for Reaper. Just like I'm spooky, woo! Like it's perfect.
And
Really cool.
I was just kind of hoping for Narissa skin because she's lovely. I thought she would be the bride of Junkenstein after Jeff Kaplan announced it, but Sombra as the bride, I mean, that was so good.
That's a
Like,
good
it
skin.
turned out
Yeah.
really
I was
well.
hoping for a headless horseman Orisa skin
Oh,
because she's
Yeah.
just a horse. Like that's what Orisa is, totally. So like, come on. But then the whole headless thing, it's kind of like the enchanted armor. You need that. Heads are important in this game because you click on them a lot. I get it.
Yeah, heads are good. Speaking of clicking heads, this past season of Overwatch League has had some pretty terrifying, spooky, really skilled moments. See what I'm doing here? Where teams just dominated and terrified the opposing team and all of their fans. So the three of us all chose one of our favorite moments from this past year's Overwatch League season, and we have some clips to show, and I think you all will understand where that fear factor comes in. I think that I would like to start with my own clip. So just to give you some introduction, I am a Houston Outlaws Soul Dynasty fan. I don't really care about Philadelphia. I don't really care about Boston, but I'll watch them. It's good Overwatch. But something made me really excited and freaked out was when Carpe went crazy on Gardens of Lijiang, Night Market, excuse me, of Lijiang Tower against Boston. Just, I remember hearing the comms of it after the fact too, where he's just screaming winnable, winnable, winnable to the rest of his team, and there's only like I think it was just him and EQO by the point. He gets 4 headshots in a row, gets that Mercy, gets the Farah. Like I mean, that was kind of the moment where I started to take Philly a bit more seriously. I know that was a mistake a lot of fans of Overwatch League made. We didn't necessarily respect the Philly Fusion as much as we should have, as we eventually found out. But that moment, that's my most memorable moment and by far the most terrifying moment as someone who is not a Fusion supporter. And it was pretty scary.
Yeah, who are they playing that game? Was it London?
I think
Was
it was
that
Boston.
Boston? That's who it was?
It was Boston, yes.
I mean, imagine being Boston after that fight. Like, what,
Oh.
you get back to spawn and you're like, what do we do? Like, he literally just killed all of us by himself. Like, what do you do as a team? Like, do you just say, let's just create chaos from here on out? Or like how do you come out of spawn if you're Boston? Like, I just, like, I don't know.
And it sucked too because Boston did everything right that fight. Striker got a 3K on Farah. He was bouncing around and killing people. Like, there was nothing going wrong for Boston except Carpe existing, which is pretty common for the Overwatch League.
And this is why I think that South Korea will be the United States at BlizzCon.
It was last episode, Katrina. God.
I'm not bitter.
I'm like so over it, dude.
God. Whatever.
Such a foregone conclusion.
Speaking of American players, Fibble.
Still, never forget.
You guys should have seen that outfit. Fibble, I'm sure you have some American spin on this entire challenge.
Yeah. So you guys might know that I'm a bit of a Seagull fan, I guess. I appreciate his work. There was a match, don't remember when, because I watched every game of season 1 of the Overwatch League and they've all kind of come together, right? It was against the Houston Outlaws. It was on Kings Row. And they were pushing through streets. And, they were like, let's try the Graviton, Dragon Strike, Hanzo Zarya combo. We'll see what we get with it, yada, yada, yada. It goes pretty well for them. They're pushed around the corner, past bookstore, right next to the tavern. They pop the Graviton on the wall so it can't be eaten by a diva because Mickey's too smart for that. Bless that boy. And Seagull presses Q. And he kills every single person on the team. And that was just so good. Oh, so good. It's just like Bonnie at the end. Like, everybody was yelling at Bonnie because, like, he fed, he died in the ultimate, like, he suicided or whatever. But, like, it was because everybody else was dead. Yeah. Like, there was no point in living anymore. He took the will to live of the Houston Outlaws. And then they didn't make playoffs. And I was happy.
Oh, man. Why you got to go there? Why you got to say that?
Look, if I can't have it, you can't have it.
It's fair.
That's
fair.
All right. Well, okay. Goofy. I mean,
I'm gonna, I don't know. I think that both those plays are really pretty spooky, but I don't know how you can get spookier than this play. I don't want to, say this is the spookiest, but it was definitely on the biggest stage. So this is in the grand finals. This is London versus Philly, and it's a player named Prophet. We all know him. We all have heard of him now. His Tracer 5K will forever be enshrined in Overwatch League history. And this, to me, is an unbelievable play because Poco had just gotten a 3K bomb, I think it was, and Philly just sits back. So you're getting it from Prophet's POV here. And Prophet just goes in and literally has a final blow on characters. Not just like participating, not just like a little bit, but literally the final blow on each one. It's like an unbelievable clip. I just don't know, like, as a player, this is kind of like the Carpe play. Like, what in your mind tells you to go make that play? Like, I just don't get when I watch Prophet go in there, like, how do you get so good at a game that you think, I'm just literally going to go kill their whole team? Or does he think that? Does he think, I'm just going to see what happens? I really don't know. But that clip absolutely just blows my mind every time I watch it because it's just an unbelievable level of skill. So to me, that was a big part in London winning as well. There's a certain thing when your team gets wiped by one player that your spirits get a little bit dashed. And I'm not saying that was the one thing. There was a few plays that London kind of did similar things, but I think that kind of took Philly out of it in the end. So a play with that much weight, definitely pretty spooky for me.
I think one of the scariest heroes to go up against you two.
Sorry.
No, never apologize. The scariest hero for me to go up against in competitive, it's probably still Sombra right now, I would say. Just not knowing where she is. And then, of course, there's people who spam all of those voice lines, just the hellos. And I know they're there, but I don't know where they are. It's just that underlying fear that you kind of get in in Thriller movie when Sombra's on the other team. I think she's the scariest hero right now. At least I'm facing in ranked right now. What about you, Thibble?
My scariest right now, in competitive, it can't be Torbjorn yet because he just can't be played for the next 2 weeks in competitive, by the way. So keep an eye on that. It's as a main tank, it's probably, since you said Sombra already, it's probably got to be Brigitte, because my team runs a lot of Reinhardt, and Brigitte says, hey, like uncle, godfather, whatever you are to me kind of guy, I'm going to hit you in the face. And you're just going to forget what you're doing for the next half a second, and then you're going to be on the ground, and then you're going to die. I'm like, oh, that's not very nice. But by then I'm dead already. I don't even get the sentence out. So yeah, Brigitte, very scary. Doesn't look like it, but very, very spooky.
And what about you, Connor?
Yeah, for me, so there's an old Troma movie. I don't know if you guys know about Troma. It's a really low production video movie company. They made a movie called The Toxic Avenger. And this new Doomfist is just going to be the Toxic Avenger for me all over again. It's a terrifying movie to watch. And for me, playing against Doomfist is just unrivaled terror. I'm also a main tank, the three of us main tanks here. And there's nothing worse than being a Reinhardt with your shield up and watching a Doomfist charging in front of you. Because there's literally nothing you can do. I mean, you can charge him back and you guys can like sit there stunned, but it's just a fleeting feeling being a team, especially in our skill level, not being that great at the game and being up against a Doomfist that can just use his abilities every 2 seconds or whatever. So especially with this Toxic Avenger skin, it's just going to be bad memories all around for me. But
segue. Yeah. If you guys want to see some scary Doomfist, you should check out Brandito from Shoes Money Crew. And I previewed his performance, which actually hasn't been that great as of this weekend, in an article I wrote talking about Contenders Trials, which is going on right now. North America's first weekend ended this weekend. Coming up is the second weekend for NA and the first week for EU, and it continues for like the next 3 weeks or so. You got like Sky Foxes, Goats, which has Nomi from the San Francisco Shock. You got a newly retooled Second Wind roster with Maid at coach. Bye week, they're there, I guess. Yeah, GGA is not. So it's interesting. It's really interesting right now. So definitely check in on that. And I've got a preview article for NA, and I'll be writing one up for EU coming up here in the next couple days. So there's some spooky Doomfist for you, because those guys love running Doomfist.
I remember I got to cast Brandito. He was going by no hero during those matches, and nothing cast off that Doomfist. I mean, it was nothing I had seen before. So definitely Thibble's totally on the point as usual. Like, gotta see this. It's terrifying, but something that's been really cool with Contenders is just seeing all of these different players step up. Some familiar like Nomi, like you mentioned, and Snow is also going to be competing in Contenders. But also, I just love watching the production of it. I've seen the different transitions from Dragon Blades to the free cam, and there's been some changes, unfortunately, in the Overwatch League in terms of observers that we did find out this past week. Many of us, I mean, all of us were pretty upset to hear the news, and Thibble wrote an article detailing a lot of information regarding the, should we say layoffs?
Pretty much. That's probably the easiest term for it. It's the news itself that I covered is nothing that anybody didn't see on Twitter already, right? Alchemister and Imagine, who were technical director and lead observer, maybe. The titles were pretty nebulous. Both of them just didn't have their contracts renewed, which is the nature of the business, as many people on Reddit were happy to tell me immediately, as if I didn't know. My main gripe with the cuts is just that these guys were the best of the best. Some of the most experienced and generally comprehensively strong observers and tech guys esports has to offer, who have worked across a variety of titles for a number of years before joining the Overwatch League, at personal expense, at dropping other jobs that they had, moving in with the assumption that like these guys are going to keep me because I'm good and they need me. And then they were dropped, apparently with very little to no notice whatsoever. My main gripe, which I guess wasn't conveyed very clearly according to Reddit, was just that just doesn't seem very appealing to people who are wanting to break into the industry like us and like many of the people here in Twitch chat that I see. They want to go do this for a living, want to show up every day at Blizzard Arena or whatever other venue we end up at and make some cool content and talk about video games and hang out with like-minded people in that sort of job. And the idea that you're on a contract, because all of the analysts and casters and talent and broadcast guys, they're all on contract. The idea that you could be on that and then just ripped out with no recourse it kind of shines a very different light all of a sudden on the idea of working in the Overwatch League, which is not a new concept. Esports as a whole has not been the most secure job field ever, but we figured, we being like the esports community, people trying to get jobs in this industry, figured that if anybody could bring some stability to the market, it would be Blizzard, because they're Blizzard. Like, they've got all the money in the world. They're one of the most beloved companies in the industry ever. Like, why wouldn't they be able to change the volatility that people often associate with esports? And this just seems to be more of the same. So I did a few words on that. It got a mixed reception. Good from the people who kind of understand, I guess, and not so good from the people who just want to be cynic, which is fine. Whatever. I'm not going to hold that against them. And they're right. Like, yeah, contracts are contracts, and sometimes you just don't get renewed. It just didn't really make that much sense to me. And from what I understand, and from what you guys have told me and what I've heard, this is not going to be the last of it. We will be losing more people that you have come to know and love. And that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So I put out a few words on that. Here are a few more. This is weird. I don't really like it.
Yeah, and Connor, us both being Outlaws fans and W also being a Dallas fan, all of us are pretty familiar with another release, Kai from the Houston Outlaws. He was, of course, formerly head coach of the Dallas Fuel. Connor, do you have anything you want to say about this release?
It's disconcerting, considering the possible connection maybe to the GGA thing. It just it just could speak to some rough stuff going on in house. I don't think it's anything about Kai. I think Kai is a good coach. I think he's going to land somewhere pretty quick. I mean, he was the coach of the 2017 USA team. He has a track record with good players, and he's already got kind of a rapport with them. So I think he'll end up somewhere soon. I would think this would be an ideal thing for an expansion team, if not just bringing him on as a guy who can scout and understand what he's been up against and being in the league for a year. I think that's a valuable thing that he's got that not a lot of other people will have. So it's hard to hear. I don't know if it's. I don't think it would be an issue between him and Flame or him and Tyrong or anything. I don't think that would be anything of the issue. So I don't want people to jump to those conclusions. But I just think it's an in-house financial thing that it's kind of just unfortunate he's the one who had to take the fall for it. Kind of like the Observers is what I think is happening. But again, that's just my take. I think he'll be fine. So if you're a Kai fan, I wouldn't be concerned. But it still sucks to see. Like, it's still no fun to hear about people getting fired at the end of the day. So.
And what really hurts about this move too is that I interviewed Muma in LA, and I asked about the coaching structure, and he was like, "Yeah, when Tyrong first came on, at the start of the season, it was pretty bad because his English was not that great. He just didn't speak a lot of English. So conveying high-level ideas about Overwatch is hard when you don't speak the same language, which is something everybody can agree on after watching all the various language barrier issues for Shanghai and Fisher and whoever else you want to name." Right? Muma specifically pointed out Kai was the best coaching pickup they made all season because he bridged that gap. He spoke Korean and he could listen to what Tyrong was saying, turn around, and I believe as he quoted, or as I quote him, I guess, he would say, "Hey guys, shut up and listen to me. I know what he's saying. I'm going to tell you what he said." And it's not like that's a unique personality, a strong leader who is bilingual in English and Korean. But Kai, his strength has always been his rapport with the players, which is why he seems like such a better fit at general manager or assistant coach rather than head coach, because he can kind of focus more on the player side than like the strategy, I guess, because Dallas, he didn't do a good job, but he was turning it around in Houston, I thought. And in Team USA, he did a great job. So it's not like he's incapable. Even if Reddit loves to think he is, he's got the chops. So it's just weird that they would cut him after the players, admit that he is such an integral figure. And Muma on stream also was like, I didn't know this was happening, and I'm not happy about it. So weird for that. And weird that Kai tweeted, like, I put my loyalty to this organization ahead of other opportunities, which many assumed was the rumored potential Vancouver general manager spot that he was supposedly offered that we don't know about. So if that was the case and he turned it down to stay in Houston and then they burned him like that, it's not a good look, dude. It's just not a good look.
And I think, I mean, I don't know what Clockwork's role is going to be yet as a coach. I think he's like an assistant coach kind of person. So I guess the move is just they want to go with Clockwork instead. I don't see why you couldn't have both. And that's where I think maybe it's a financial issue, but I don't know. It's tough. I guess what they're trading with that maybe is Clockwork can give. I mean, he's been with the team maybe a little bit longer. He maybe has a mind for how the team works internally a little better, but that's even a stretch. So it definitely is weird to see as a Houston fan.
On kind of a happier note, you were talking about having both English, Korean, a variety of languages. Right now, Kate, who is on Overwatch Game Haus writing team, announced that the Fusion has now 2 co-head coaches, one that is Korean and one that has been designated as the Western head coach. It's Hayes Watt. And I think that's a really smart move coming from the Fusion, especially they were one of the most diverse teams the entire season of season 1. And not only do they have outstanding Korean talent, but lots of European talent as well. So I am enjoying that development. I'm curious to see if newer teams will adapt that as well.
Yeah.
That's definitely a bit of a happier coaching.
Yeah. I think that'll definitely start to be picked up by other teams. You're going to have, I mean, at the end of the day, teams are going to possibly try and go all Western or all Korean. But for teams like the Fusion, this is, I think, is a really smart, logical move. The only concern I have is that this creates like a house divided, that the Korean players are in this one camp under this coach and they have this ideology and philosophy about how to play the game. And then there's this other like Western half of the team. Knowing the Fusion and like the clips of them living in their house together and just the way they interact, I don't think that's going to be the case. They really do seem like a pretty good family unit right now as a team. But that would be a concern I have, is if the 2 coaches, even maybe in a small detailed sort of way, have a different coaching philosophy, that could drive the team in different directions. So they just have to be on the same page. I think it'll be fine, but I think if it works, it'll be something that we definitely see on other teams. If I were to be guessing, I think it's a cool move, though.
I think if the personalities clash, Chef Heidi's just going to show up with a rolling pin and be like, all right, you kids, knock it off. Go back to playing Overwatch. Shut up. I'm trying to cook. And that'll be that, right? Like Chef Heidi will just lay down the law, and that's all you need. You just need somebody to quell the personality. And ideally, these 2 will probably not clash too much. I'm sure the Fusion would much rather that happen than have Chef Heidi get involved. But, whatever. That actually brings up a good point. Now that we've got these 2 coaches co-head coaching, what happened to Kirby? Like Tucker Roberts, the president, did say that Kirby is still part of the organization. Maybe he's going to be general manager, so Tucker can step away or something. Yeah. Maybe he'll be an assistant coach. We don't really know. Total tangent, sequitur, non sequitur. Got some breaking news here. Hot off the presses, like 5 minutes ago. Phase 2, which is a Contenders Trials team, just announced that Michael is their head coach. Like Michael, the Leak Boy Michael.
What?
Not the Norwegian Michael?
No, not MKL. That's with DC, confirmed. But Michael, that Michael, is
the head coach
of Phase 2.
You're right.
Do with that what you will.
Holy cow.
Interesting.
He
for
does
background,
have coaching experience, though. As like
he was the head coach of Kangarna. Where's Kangarna right now? Just saying, you know,
It's interesting.
no bias. Just like,
And
sure.
that just happened, right? Like,
Yeah, they just,
Yeah, I just
the
looked at
official
Twitter.
Phase 2 Twitter just tweeted that. Like, I wasn't whispered that in a private message. Like, they're out there. That's out there.
that's
Yeah,
interesting.
thank you. There, the tweet just got posted in Twitch chat. There's some news for you.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Yeah. Phase 2 was one of the stronger Open Division teams, losing only to Shoes Money Crew, who is now struggling a little bit in Contenders Trials. I don't know if that'll be enough. I mean, I think Phase 2 will still make top 4. I think it'll be Skyfox's Phase 2, Shoes Money Crew, and like Second Wind, maybe. That 4th place spot, there's a little contention. Goats could step up. Bye week could maybe. But yeah, the top 3 are pretty set, and I think Phase 2 will make it to Contenders, which is good for them and apparently good for Michael. But it'll be interesting to see how that one shapes up. There you go. Some hot breaking news.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think the interesting thing to watch that'll be what does he do? What are his what is their contract about what he does right now? Like his current kind of profession of leaking. Like, will he be able to do that, or will he have kind of some clause? I would think he would keep going. That seems like it's kind of his gig, like his
ever stopped him.
His identity.
He'll do
so
his thing.
I think he will too. But that's super interesting. I mean, maybe his connections will serve him coach. Maybe it's just a stepping stone for him, and I don't know. That is a really interesting move, though. That'll be interesting to watch.
Last breaking news.
go ahead.
It's not really breaking anymore. Sorry. Hastro had his baby. Congratulations to Hastro. Yeah, River Rufale.
Super cool name.
Cool name. Cool kid. Cool dad. Congratulations.
I saw the pictures. It was.
Yeah, very cute, adorable little wrapped up like a burrito sort of baby. He's very happy. I'm sure they're doing great. Congratulations there.
Yeah.
I'm not a baby guy myself, but power to him.
So after all of that great news, some a bit more Halloweeny than others. I think, how about we try to lighten the mood a little bit again? Yeah. Going back to all of the heroes that we know and love. Does everybody know the song "The Monster Mash" that I'm definitely not going to sing right now for our viewers' convenience?
He did the mash.
He did.
Yes, I know the song.
So what we decided to do this week for you guys was we wanted to mash up 2 heroes to create the most horrific monster you could ever find in Overwatch. Just like we talked about which heroes are kind of plaguing us in comp right now, these heroes would just make us want to quit the game forever. So I think that right now Thibble is on a roll with all of this news. I want to hear what he thinks is scarier than the new coach of Phase 2.
I didn't say that.
No,
I didn't. Shush. Okay, my spooky monster mash hero. Okay, Reinhardt will.
Crew, Twitch
Come
chat.
back.
Tell us when you hear us.
Yeah, tell us when you can hear us, Twitch.
Tell us when you hear us.
Okay,
we're back. We're back.
I think some of you heard my genius idea, which was Reinhardt and Farah smushed together into a flying German ball of death, which is as genius, of course, as it sounds at first glance. Don't look any deeper into it. He can fly. He jumps behind you. He earth shatters. You all die. It's great. play the game every game. I'm super smart. Thank you. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
Man, well done.
That is
Wow. How do you pronounce that name, by the way? Was it Reinra?
God, I didn't even think of a mashup name. Just think Reinhardt, but better. That's his name.
Reinhardt, but better.
Reinhardt, but better.
Nice.
Is it Farah underneath all that armor now, or is it still the very old German?
I think just the legs are Farah.
Oh.
That's it. Just the legs.
Trying to imagine what that would look like. I don't like it.
Just roll with it, man. I don't know.
So, speaking of rolling with it, there's been some heroes that have really defined the most recent meta, and I decided to see what I could do to make, well, pretty much Thibble's life as a main tank even worse with my own little Monster Mash creation. So everybody knows and loves our new favorite pumpkin, Wrecking Ball. He is such a sweetheart, but that skin scares me and is nightmare fuel.
Yeah.
And everyone also knows, loves Junkenstein's new bride, Sombra. So I thought, what if I could combine these two? What if Sombra was able to get rid of the hamster, hack into this Wrecking Ball, and just go crazy? So everyone, welcome to the Sombra Ball.
I already don't like this.
It can be invisible.
Keep going.
This seems terrible.
It can be invisible.
It can
okay.
Translocate.
Oh no.
Grapple.
Whose gun? Whose gun does it use?
It's gonna use Hammond.
Pretty good gun. They're pretty similar, actually.
So I think that this hero would be so scary. It's like it's something that goes bump in the night and you don't see it, and then all of a sudden all of these mines are just all over you. You're hacked, you can't move. Like the EMP minefield combo, like
oh yeah. That'd be wild.
No. Oh, that'd be terrible.
That is one way to
Why
counter
would
the
you?
hard fire.
This is so much worse than mine.
Yeah, it's pretty brutal.
Horrendous.
So
how could you do that to us? We're all main tank.
I
would just one trick that. I would never play anything else ever again.
Yeah.
I would make everyone suffer.
Okay,
I like it.
I've heard nothing more in character. And Connor, Goopy, what do you envision for your horrific master?
So I was just thinking of the most dystopian thing and the most dark, awful thing I could think of. So one character that definitely has to involve is Roadhog. He's got to be the ugliest character in the game, I think. Not a big fan of dudes with belly tats and all that kind of stuff, hooks and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, and the only thing that I think makes Roadhog a terrible character is his mobility. He's really slow, he's really fat, and he just doesn't get around.
Really focusing on the fat point.
I really am. Roadhog's a big boy. And so, like Thibble, I think if you were to give him rockets, he's not like you.
Hey, all right.
No. Don't get me wrong. I'm talking about Farah.
Okay.
If you put rockets on his back, you'd have Rocket Hog incoming. And you'd have Roadhog. Maybe he slims down a little bit. He gets some of Farah's, petite figure, and he can fly around. He's throwing his hook in the air, and he's dropping you off random points in the map. His ult is already pretty similar to Farah's. They both just do their chain gun rocket deal still. I just mainly wanted to see Roadhog fly. I think that'd be pretty entertaining, just personally. But so yeah, this is Rocket Hog incoming. I can't think of anything more terrifying.
So now we know
that'll
what happens
happen when pigs fly.
Ah! Wait, can
Hey.
we try for a high five thing? Ready? One.
I don't know where you are.
No, we did the same. Yeah, we did it.
I don't know, man. High fives. We're smart and funny. Yeah, woo.
Totally lame. Yeah, whatever.
Everybody laugh at us in Twitch chat.
Yeah.
Hey.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. I'm
That
sorry.
was wild.
But I all of those monstrosities. Glorious. There actually was this amazing YouTube video I saw, where I think it's called Roadhog Goes to the Gym. It's all animated. Have you guys not seen it?
I haven't.
Oh my gosh, everyone in chat as well, and you guys too. There's this person who creates all of these animated stories with Overwatch. There's I'm gonna have to post it on Twitter later tonight, but you'll love it. You'll love it.
I need to see this.
I'm really excited. And so earlier tonight, before we all failed at high-fiving, Connor and I tried to play Junkenstein's Revenge. This is your first week with a PC, is that right?
It is. So we're learning. I am kind of cheating, transitioning over to the PC. I'm doing. There's a player right now in North America. His name's Circi, Carcci is how you spell it. He was like number 1 on the ladder in North America. He's real good, and he uses a hybrid setup where he has a controller in his left hand, mouse in right hand. So he used to be real good on console, all that kind of stuff. So I'm doing that, and so it's actually been a pretty decent learning curve. I don't know, not too bad, but yeah, first week on PC still a little rusty.
And we are going to absolutely exploit that for viewers.
Great.
So next week, all 3 of us, as well as maybe Nick, who is one of our lovely friends here at the Game Haus, or some unlucky random in Q, will all come together and play Junkenstein's Revenge. But there's a little bit of a twist, as there always is here. Because we all get along so well, we've decided to come out with our crazy Junkenstein Revenge picks. We're going to surprise each other with some extreme, very successful, hopefully, hero choices. I know I've been terrified to hear what you guys are coming up with, especially you, Connor. Although your Widowmaker was really promising. All right, your Widow was really good earlier today, so I'm going to give you some benefit of the doubt, but
Unbelievable.
what do you have in store for us when the 3 of us are we're actually going to record this too for your for all of your viewers.
It will be up on YouTube.
Yes.
You guys can watch it, which
Over
is
and
scary.
over. So
is this the character I have to play, or am I just picking one that we're all 3 it's in the pool for us to choose from?
Oh,
what do you guys think?
I assumed it was the hero you would want to play personally.
Okay, great. That's fine. That's good.
Go for it.
So low skill ceiling, me, down. Skill ceiling here, platinum, diamond, Connor, aluminum. So I chose the character that does all its damage without you having to shoot. So I chose Torbjorn. Plus, Danish brethren again. I think he's Danish. He has a Swedish uniform.
For the last time, I'm Swedish.
But I'm not convinced. Anyway, so I'm choosing Torbjorn. I did it as a troll pick because I forgot that we weren't going to be on the new meta, and then I realized he's actually a pretty good pick now. His molten core is pretty good for covering the door. You can throw his turret, and it can do damage, like I said. Pretty good for the low skill ceiling players here. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. I guess I'm going to be playing Torbjorn. So get ready for that. I'm going to speak like Torbjorn the entire time, too. I'm going to add that caveat for our picks, maybe, if you guys want to. But I'm going to be doing it in comms.
Okay.
I support that fully.
All right, Katrina, age before beauty. What's your pick?
Oh,
I'm sorry. It's a little spicy today.
It's okay. Wait till you hear.
How about ladies first?
I like.
Hey.
Thank you, gentlemen. So I am a tank player, but there's no tanks available in Junkenstein's Revenge. So I thought that the most logical thing would be to look inside and think of my potential as a person. And I saw one of the highest skill caps heroes in the entire game.
I don't like where this is going.
With the capacity to just destroy everyone with slashes and dashes and shurikens.
No.
You guys ready for this? You ready for this?
No.
I'm bringing out the Genji, baby. I'm bringing out the Genji. It's going to be brilliant. I'm going to kill everything. I'm going to get the blades. I'm going to slash. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, the hero of Junkenstein is here. I am ready. The swordswoman.
The swordswoman
is bringing it on. Now I need to buy that. Did you see the ad for the new sword, the Genji sword?
Oh,
yes.
That's like $200.
Yeah, worth it.
I am not going to buy it.
Let's get some bits in the chat and let's get a $200 sword for Katrina.
Hashtag get Katrina a dragon blade. let's
Yes.
not.
It'll be the only dragon blade you've ever seen me wielding. So on that note, we've got Torbjorn. We've got the greatest Genji that has ever walked the earth. How are you going to round this out?
Okay, so Connor thinks that Torbjorn doesn't have to shoot, which isn't entirely like you should also be shooting.
I didn't know
Here's some
that.
pro Torb tips for you.
Just hammer the turret.
Right, yeah. So while you're hammering your turret, and while Katrina is getting
Killing
hooked
her.
out of Dragon Blades, probably, I'm gonna play McCree because here's the deal: when all of the not robot guys pop up, the Summoner, the Witch, Junkenstein's creation, and Junkenstein himself, when they all pop up, they've got like 8,000 health, right? High Noon charges at like 250 DPS a second. I hold that for 8 seconds. That's 2,000 damage, I think. Yeah, that's 2,000 damage. If I get nano boosted, that's 3,000 damage. That kills just about anything and then leaves Roadhog with like, I don't know, depending on the difficulty, leaves him with like a couple hundred health.
Yeah.
And you guys can handle that by like, I don't know, like limply slapping him in the face until he dies.
My Torb hammer. I'll get him.
Right. Yeah, sure. Of course. I, of course, will force our fourth player to only play Anna to carry me, to pocket me, because I am the carry god. Slayer. Lowercase x, uppercase x, 420, uppercase x,
No
lowercase
scope.
x, underscore, no
360.
scope, but the
Yeah.
O's are zeros,
Yeah.
yada, 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 right? McCree.
Yeah.
He cleans up. He's really good. Play the game all the time. Except probably Torbjorn actually will get it because the system's broken like that.
No, the blade's going to get it. The blade's going to get it. I'm going to just be slashing,
Okay.
and we have no heals.
No, the Anna. We'll bring
We'll
in,
get
bring
Anna.
in we'll bring in Nick or we'll bring in Apron and we'll just say,
Yeah.
go Anna,
I just feel
pocket
bad
me.
for them.
pocket me. No.
I think we need to have some kind of competition because we're the three of us are celebrities. We're big time. I mean, this is to be in our presence is really just this experience. I think we need a competition to see who can play with us. I think we need to do something. I don't know what it is.
Okay.
We should have trivia.
Trivia. We could do something on Twitter. Put us on the spot here.
I like the idea that I just saw in Twitch chat, which is an Anna paintball match.
Oh.
And they have to play Anna to carry me, right?
prove
I mean,
themselves.
pocket me.
We pit them against each other. Make them
Yes.
fight to the death.
Yeah,
I'm
we
down.
put
In the game.
Okay, I can set that up. I can make that happen.
Let's
we could even
do it.
stream it.
Yes.
Maybe.
On your
And we
you
could
got a
cast.
stream channel.
Yeah.
We could
all our
cast.
stream channels. Yeah.
Let's
We'll
do
figure
it.
that out. We'll
Let's
do something.
it.
That sounds like fun.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
I'm down. I'm in.
I'm ready. I'm
We'll do
ready
that.
for this. We are going to crush up. I mean, on normal level, definitely. On hard level, yeah.
Legendary.
Legendary. I mean,
Dude, pro players struggle with legendary. Like,
yeah, but
I've
you
got a Torb
me.
hammer.
You got me.
uh,
The chat has been giving me like iconic names now for my Genji play. They have
You're
so
just
much
gonna be
weight.
spamming I need healing, Katrina. I played with you earlier, and I was playing Ana and you were playing Hanzo, and you were spamming I need healing quite a bit.
I wanted you to see
So,
where I was
mean,
because you
I
were
did.
seeing
that's
any.
honestly step one to being a Genji player.
That's true, she's already got it.
Is press X. I need healing. I need healing. I need healing.
Well, you know
So
what?
at least she's got. At least
At least I got that.
It's true.
that's about it.
Well, I'm excited for this, guys. This is going to be great. So just a reminder, so we're going to do this, and we're going to somehow get a VOD of it next week on the show, I think. Pending our ability to do that as people, I think we can figure it out. And we can play it. We'll talk about it. Talk about what we learned. It's a good team-building exercise if you need something for your company or your group of friends. Maybe go into Junkenstein's adventure together and figure it out.
It's like
there.
an escape room. Yeah.
Exactly.
Can you imagine the three of us escape?
Please don't.
Torb hammer. Other door.
All right, if there's a Torb hammer kill, like we need to have a Torb hammer kill count going.
That's what they do on Tip of the Hats. I mean, every time like
that's right.
Brand would get hammer kills or Mangachu, Sideshow would have to donate $100, and I think he donated like 1,500 over the weekend.
A lot of money. It
Wow,
was
like a bunch. He's like, I'm legitimately broke. Brand, and however Sideshow said it.
But
It's hilarious.
like bringing that back, Tip of the Hats this past weekend, A lot of the members of the Overwatch community went to my home city of Chicago. I'm very proud. And they raised over $200,000 for children with cancer so that they could go to summer camp. So a really incredible event. I'm sure a lot of you saw some of the antics this weekend. Were there any favorite moments for you, Thibble?
I honestly didn't get to watch a whole lot of it because
neither.
I had my day job. Yay! I work there like 3 days a month now because I'm trying to write. And of course, the days they pull me are tip of the hats days. I did get to see some of the last segments. I got to see a lot of Harsha just like throwing out the spicy banter. I got to see a little bit of Seagull, of course. I donated like $20. Got entered to win a signed Seagull statue, Genji statue, which would be cool. Although I do have a hat with his signature over there already. Humble brag.
Nice.
Just in general, what I saw of Tip of the Hats was really good. And it's always good because it's for such a great cause and they made a ton of money and it's really easy to donate. You can still donate up until I believe like the 20th or so. They've hit somewhere in the area of $220,000. And if they get another 40K, they'll cross 1 million total, which is ridiculous. That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
A lot of money for such a good cause. So go give them all your old TF2 items because you never play that game anymore. Dead game, by the way. Or just give them cash if you got extra money laying around. And then, take like 10% of that and then put it away and then give it to me because I'm broke. Please, thank you.
So Connor, what was your favorite part of
Smooth
Tip of the
transition. I just put it in the chat actually. It was Reinhardt and the Little Torblitz, as Sideshow or Bren would say. It was hilarious. So what they did was they did this quick play or this custom game mode that Bren set up, where one person's Reinhardt and they had like 200% movement speed. Flame strikes were like hit scan; they were like instant. And the Torbjorns had 500% move speed, but could only use their hammers. And so it was just a bunch of quick little Torblitz running around trying to kill Daddy Reinhardt. And it was some of the most like wholesome, hilarious stuff I've ever watched. And like they had Muma play Reinhardt, they had Bren, like a bunch of people. I think they had Clockwork play it once, but it was just like hilarious. So that was probably number one. Number two was just Harsha. He did like this on the field reporting bit where he would like walk over to the computer and act like he was like someone down on the field interviewing them, and then he would like walk 2 steps back over to the couch and be like, back to you guys at the couch. And it was just like, it was his first time on the show too, first time meeting like half the production team of Tip of the Hats. Really? So it was like really impressive to me that he just gelled so well with it. Big fan. If you haven't watched it, go back and watch them. They're just like some good, wholesome. It's fun Overwatch too, which you don't get very often with pros, I feel like. So it's cool.
Yeah, it's always fun to see these events unite everyone, and that's what I loved about All-Star Weekend too. Everyone was relaxed and happy, and they were just celebrating the game. And whenever these events happen, whenever like Halloween or Winter Wonderland or whatnot, I kind of remember why Overwatch is my favorite game. I just remember when I first saw Overwatch, it was so exciting to see a positive depiction of the future. The games that I had played before, I loved them, but there's always this apocalyptic. And so when you see a Numbani or an Oasis, like that vision of Iraq as this academic center, it was just such a cool feeling when I first played Overwatch. I knew immediately that this was the game for me. So I always get excited when these events come. They revitalize my passion for the game. What made you guys fall in love with Overwatch?
Go ahead.
Yeah, it's tough. So for me, I bought it off the cuff. Me and some friends, on Xbox, just got it right when it came out and just kind of fell in love with it. But it just seems like it's a different kind of game. I hadn't played Team Fortress 2 beforehand, so like I had no idea that this was even a kind of game before. But it was just like this new, fresh expression of what it was to play a video game. And we talked about this last night when we were playing. It just like it's consistently fun. Like there's other games where like I get tired of the mechanics, like Halo, you do the same thing. Call of Duty, it's hide and seek. Whoever you find first, you win. But like Overwatch, there's just so much strategy. There's so many moving parts. I've just really I've just consistently enjoyed it over the years. So I'm glad that I happened to just buy a game that they invested and made an esport out of and a league. So it was kind of a good random pick. But yeah, I had the same experience, Katrina, when I was watching Tip of the Hats. I just this is a great game. Like this is just a good community, and it was just a good
I totally agree. I played a lot of TF2 before Overwatch, and it's always interesting now that like the official Overwatch guys like they aren't really supposed to talk about TF2 because it was such a direct competitor, and it's still around. So you shouldn't advertise it because it's a competitor, even though the game is like way lower than it used to be now that Overwatch is around. But I played a lot of that. And I watched a lot of Germa and Star, who were major TF2 YouTubers who have since sort of transitioned. They kind of like they do their own stream stuff and they're running around like having families and all that stuff. But I watched a lot of them. I met a lot of good friends from watching that, and they got invited to LA to Blizzard campus to like check out Overwatch and like give feedback on it. And they posted videos and they were like, guys, like we thought it was going to be some crappy TF2 clone. It's one of the best games I've ever played in my life. Oh my God. And I was like, oh, that's neat. I'll check it out. I'll try the beta. And like, oh, this is fun. This is really fun. Oh my God. Farah plays just like Soldier, even if she doesn't really. Junkrat plays just like Demo Man. Mercy plays just like Medic. I played a lot of Mercy because I played a lot of Medic. Torbjorn plays like Engineer, except he has no skill involved with him. Yada, 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 right? It was just a lot of fun seeing the comparison and seeing that the game was still good and it wasn't just like a cheap knockoff, that Blizzard was doing it right. And then there was like a competitive scene, like with Team Taimu and Team IDDQD and Envious and Cloud9 and Luminosity Gaming, who had a little guy named Seagull on it. I was like, this Seagull guy, he's pretty good at Genji. That's really cool. I wish I'll never be that good at Genji, but it's fun to watch. Wow. And then it just snowballed, right? I went to the World Cup in 2017. I got interviewed by this guy named Damien. Bless him. I owe that guy everything. And I was like, oh, dude, I could do something cool with this. And now I'm on a talk show talking about it. So, boom, Overwatch, crazy cool game. And it's done a lot of good stuff for me, for all of us. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I think this is just a good game to be in even right now. I mean, we're what 3 years into the game almost, and it still feels like there's this new crowd around it. There's people getting it every day. And so like if you're someone out there who's like wanting to get into Overwatch or get into writing about Overwatch or whatever it may be, I think it's not like it's too late or anything. There's not like established experts out there that already have it all covered. Like it's absolutely an open field and an open book. So that's just an encouragement for anyone out there watching. Like it's still this new game. It has this feeling of newness. And Blizzard just constantly creating characters and maps and with these seasonal Halloween things, it just has this great new feeling consistently, I think. So yeah.
All right. So unfortunately, we are almost out of time for this week's Halloween episode. I'm sure we'll have some more spooky stuff going on throughout this month. I mean, look at who's on this show. But anyways, as we close things up, I just want to hear from the two of you. What's one thing that you're really excited for, really quickly, for next week?
Go ahead, Connor.
I'm excited. I've got some really cool interviews coming up. I've been like talking to a lot of people for a while, and I'm like finally getting stuff to paper and about to get it published. So just really excited to tell people stories, players, coaches, talent. I think it's just a really important thing. Super pumped to do it more.
Cool. I ran out of interviews. Moth's parents were my last one that I had in like the backlog of interviews to transcribe and put out. So now I'm going for more. I'm going to talk to Zachary and Zachary's mom from Team USA / Fusion University / wherever he's being signed to, because he's definitely being signed somewhere. I'd like to talk to them. I'd like to talk to some Contenders Trials talent, including on this show. Hang tight over the next couple weeks. I'm going to try and get some pro players on this show. Nothing confirmed, but I'm getting there. If you have suggestions, let us know. On Segue, the official WatchHaus Twitter account, which is WatchHaus_. I'll post a link in Twitch chat here in a second. We just started it up. It's mostly spooky right now because that's what we've been talking about. But it'll have all our schedule stuff. We'll keep you updated. We're running polls right now to see what you guys want to see. So go let us know. Prep for more episodes. It's going to be awesome. Going to get some good stuff in here. And you guys are going to have a lot of fun.
And that's what we're all here for. We're all here to not only have fun, but to cheer for Katrina on that Genji that you will see next week. That is going to be the highlight of everyone's life, not just your week, not just your month,
Wow.
your life. I mean, it's going to be better than your firstborn child.
Nice.
Anyways, though,
Wow.
Bold claims from Katrina in the episode.
Seriously.
I'm getting
Hardcore claims.
I'm getting so excited
You
to play
sound like
BBM. And on that note, I think it's time for both of you to go back to the underworld during Halloween. And I will wish everyone else a really great festivity. I hope everything goes well. And oh, we're a mess. Have a great week, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. Bye, guys. Enjoy.
If you liked that, hit the subscribe button for more interviews and other great sports and esports content. Make sure to also like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter to stay up to date on all the news from your favorite sports and esports players and teams. From our house to yours.